Intro, have you ever wanted something so badly you'd do just about anything to have it all for yourself? Our story takes place under the warm evening air of the savanna, inspired by rich African traditions. In a sunlit village, where community was treasured above all, one animal believed sharing was for fools. Fisi, the greedy hyena, was convinced he could outsmart everyone to claim every last scrap for himself. But he was about to discover the painful truth. Wanting it all can leave you with nothing. A lesson that generosity is worth far more than a full belly. The village of harmony in the Yoruba-inspired village, community, and the principle of Omaluabi, good character and kindness, bound everyone together. All except Faisai. He mocked the weaver birds building communal nests and the elephants digging shared watering holes, shaking his head at the monkeys collecting mangoes for all. His den, a cluttered shrine to his motto, "More for me is always better," was filled with trinkets no one else wanted but that he jealously guarded. He listened to old cautionary tales about greedy hyenas with scorn. To him, kindness was weakness, an opportunity to be exploited. Now, with a grand feast ahead, Faisai plotted. This time, he wouldn't share a thing. The great feast Oba, the animal kingdom's wise ruler, announced the harvest festival. The village danced with preparation. Boars dug up yams, gazelles picked herbs, monkeys passed plantains, otters fetched fish. The aroma of roasting meat and sweet palm wine mingled with laughter as giant pots simmered. From his shadows, Faisai scoffed. He saw only numbers, yams divided 100 ways, mangoes leaving tiny shares for him. He had brought nothing to the table and resented the thought of sharing with those who did. To him, the feast was not a time for gratitude. It was a prize to be seized. As the sun set, he hatched a devious plan. He would not just take a share, he would take it all. The devious plan, while the village buzzed with anticipation, Faisai quietly slipped into the night. Creeping to the central baobab, he found the pots of food unguarded. Lifted by greed, he stole goat's stew, akara, mwamwa, and honey cakes, hiding them in 3 secret spots. With each trip, his pride grew. Never keep all your eggs in one basket, he joked, smug with his own cleverness. By the time drums signaling the feast began to thrum in the distance, Faisai was exhausted but euphoric, eagerly awaiting his hidden banquet. The celebration and the ruse, a roaring bonfire, illuminated the festival. Drums and laughter filled the night as animals shared stories and food. Ijapa, the old tortoise, watched the joyous crowd, understanding the true value of the gathering. Faisai made a casual appearance, accepting a token piece of yam and pretending indifference. As the party's energy peaked, Faisai staged a dramatic limp and claimed he'd stepped on a thorn. The caring animals offered help, but he declined, hurrying away as soon as their eyes were elsewhere. The spectacular backfire in the shadow of the festival, Faisai raced to reclaim his loot. At his first hiding place, he unearthed the stolen stew, but instead of a rich aroma, he found ants. Thousands of them had devoured every bite. In panic, he rushed to his other spots. Each had met the same fate. Ants had left only empty, sticky pots. His perfect plan undone by the tiniest creatures, Faisai howled with frustration and despair, clutching empty vessels in the moonlight. The lonely aftermath, exhausted and ashamed, Faisai slunk toward the village. The embers of the celebration glowed peacefully as families shared their last fruits, little ones drifting to sleep in warm circles. Faisai lingered in the shadows, suddenly recognizing the very thing he'd tried to steal. Community was the true treasure. His belly ached, but lonelier still was his heart. In trying to keep everything for himself, he had ended up with nothing. The lesson and the moral, a quiet voice startled him. A belly full of wind is a poor reward for a night's work, isn't it, Faisai? It was a japa, eyes kind and wise. He sat beside Faisai, not scolding, only explaining gently. You thought the feast was the food, but you missed the real banquet and the joy in the sharing. Greed gives you only your own company, and that is very poor indeed. Joy, Fisi, is a fire that grows brighter the more who gather round. Fisi finally understood. He bowed his head, feeling the weight of the truth. True wealth was not in hoarded food, but in friends and in generosity. A little bit shared brought more satisfaction than all the stolen treasures in the world. Conclusion. Fisi, the hyena's tale, reminds us. A life rooted in greed leads only to emptiness, but in giving, we build a world full of shared happiness.